there's a very big possibility that the reason why your makeup doesn't look good is because you're not cleansing your face right. Let's get into it. If you are using micellar water and a cotton pad, if you are using face wipes, if you are using anything that doesn't involve water from the tap and a cleanser, preferably a balm, oil or gel, whatever works for you, it doesn't really matter, and a face cloth, in my opinion, you're doing it wrong. I mean, it's all subjective. What's right for you is not right for me, and so on and so forth. But I will tell you that my foundation never goes on icky, it never goes on thick, it never goes on patchy, it never flakes throughout the day. And I can tell you that it's partially because of how I apply it, which you've seen in the video that went viral last week. The other reason, and probably a bit bigger of a reason than that, is how I cleanse my face. Because in fact, when you're cleansing your face, you're actually exfoliating your face at the same time. And if you don't take off the dry bits and the flaky bits from just the shedding that your skin naturally sheds, then your makeup is going to be sitting on top of dead skin. Therefore, not actually on your face. It's just hanging on to this loose stuff that's on your face. Whether you can see it with your naked eye or not, it's probably there. Okay, so I have my cleansing balm on this side of my face, because I don't actually have any makeup on this side of my face. And I have a washcloth, a wet washcloth that I just wet in the sink and I wringed out all the excess water. I want to give props to Eve Lom, who was sort of my original guiding light in this cleansing routine. Eve Lom cleansing balm, some of you will know. I remember Eve Lom cleansing balm in the chat. Was when I used to work at Space NK back in 2009 for about 3 years. Eve Lom cleansing balm was probably the most replenished product that I would either get for myself at work, or I would even sell, or people would come in and replenish. The reason why is because it was a beautiful cleansing balm that would hit, when you hit your face with water, it would turn into a milk and emulsify and rinse away, and with that take all the makeup with it. The cleansing balm also came in a packaging with a cloth, this thin muslin cloth, and Eve herself taught me once in store that get the muslin cloth as warm as you can, hold it over your face, open the pores, and then wipe everything away, then wet the muslin cloth, make it cold, and then do the same thing after you're done cleansing. My situation has evolved a little bit since then, but the ethos is still the same. I just prefer now a thicker cloth, a denser cloth, but nothing too thick, because if it's too thick, then you can't actually wrap your finger around it, but a muslin cloth is too thin for me. So as I sort of will just wipe away the makeup that was on my face, I'm quite firm in areas where I know that makeup clings to me, whether it's at the hairline, whether it's down the sides of the nose, whether it's just around the eye, obviously be delicate, whether it's in the brow, and then the lips. So this is a perfect time to get in and exfoliate the lips. And this is, in my opinion, the best way to cleanse your face. And you'll notice a level of vitality in my skin when I'm done cleansing. I'll go red for a second. And so obviously, depending on how sensitive your skin is, will depend on, how much pressure you might put on your face. But I just know that this has been my biggest part of my routine for the past 15 years. And I do attribute my skin health to this routine. Okay, so that was what was on my face, just those little bits of product. And as I let my skin sort of just air dry, I'm just going to just let it do it while the camera rolls. My skin's just starting to feel a tiny, tiny bit tight, but not too much. My pores are starting to close and shrink a little bit. And everything on this side actually even looks and feels a bit tighter than it does on this side, because potentially that's moisture sort of being, wicked away from my face. I could very easily just spray with the mist and moisturize straight away, but I just want you to see the sort of condition of the skin right after the cleansing. So this looks a little bit like you can even see I've got a deeper nasolabial fold on this side than this side. And that is not shine from anything on my skin, that's conditioned. So there's no shine on my face whatsoever. This is just from that little bit of polish that I just got from this step. So just do yourself a favor, get a packet of face cloths from wherever, make sure they're not thick and dense, like the best hotel quality. You want average hotel quality. You want them to just be somewhat thin, but not too thin. And then you can actually really get in there. And again, on that lip thing, it's the perfect density texture to really exfoliate the mouth without aggravating too much. And that's why I love this step. This is a very long cleansing video. I'm gonna actually, for the sake of, if you're here and you're interested to know what my cleansing routine is, my skincare routine is on a typical day. I'll just show you really quick. I'm just gonna do that same thing. I will also say, I'm not an esthetician. I don't claim to be, but I'm just telling you what works for me and what I've done for the past 15 years. And, yeah, okay. So a tiny bit red for like 10 seconds. I also say, don't press very hard if you're nervous and build up to that pressure, but each to their own. I can take a little bit of pressure, and I also know what kind of force I'm doing because I can personally feel it. So don't, you know, rag at the face. Don't like pull at the face too much. Just sort of, you know, pressure, but like you're holding the skin tight if you want to, whatever it is that you want to do. But straight away, my face is more lifted. All right, so one of my first skincare steps is always either SOS Mist or SOS Serum from Tower 28. Now, why I love this is because it keeps my skin really clean because it's hypochlorous acid. And it keeps my skin sort of breakout free. And that's basically what it does. And I love it. And it also makes my skin a teeny bit tight upon application. Now, I have 2 skincare routines. Tag's waking up. I have one that includes only SPF. This is in the instance that I'm going out around the city, I've got a busy day and I want to make sure my skin's protected, but I don't want to overload my skin with product and textures that's going to interfere with how my makeup wears, and it's SPF. I love this one from Kiehl's. It's called Better Screen UV Serum. I'm not going to do that today because it's 8 a.m. and I'm just going to stay at home for most of the day and do a bit of content, and it's, yeah. I'll also say, my skin is normal to combination. I get a little bit oily sometimes in my T-zone. I get a dryness build up if I don't do that cloth step. And I definitely get like more deeper fine lines and wrinkles if I don't moisturize. One of my favorite eye creams is the caffeine eye cream from the Inkey List. And when I use an eye cream, I'm really just using the teeniest amount, just like that on both sides. Oh, I just blew air into my eye. That on both sides, just to give a little bit of something. And if I'm careful, I'll go just at the orbital bone and just tap it in, like so. What's left on my fingers, I sometimes put on my lid, but not really, because the more products that are on your lid, the more opportunity for the makeup that's on your lids to crease. So if you feel like you do need the hydration, but you want your makeup to still look good, I would just do an even more opulent skincare routine at night. One of the first things that I do is apply lip balm. I do this first in my skincare routine because I don't want my lip balm to be super juicy at the time when my lips are about to get applied later on in the routine. This is a sample that I'm working on for KJH brand. I'm very obsessed with the Rhode Glazing Milk. I did Hailey's makeup last night for an event that she went to in New York, and she only had this on her face, and it was actually the perfect amount of skin prep. And what I love about it is it's just so lightweight, but it's also very hydrating. And I just sort of press and tap this in. Now, if you're oily, this is probably the perfect amount of product. If you are dry, you would probably need a little bit more than this. But I just love the sort of sheen that it gives you because it's colourless. It doesn't have any shimmer. It's just skincare and texture and hydration. And then I'll show you what I would do if I did want extra hydration on top of this. But did you notice that I sort of went to the sides of my face and not directly to the T-zone first? Because anywhere where you've got pores that are a bit more visible, I find, are the places that you lose your makeup quicker in the day. So I avoid those areas first with moisturizers. And then I'm going to use a thicker moisturizer just to give you the example of what I'm about to do. So I've got the Bong 2 Bounce Cream from Then I Met You, teeniest amount. This is for makeup prep, FYI, not nighttime, bedtime prep. That's a different routine. So I've got a little bit on my hand and I'm just going to pop it on where I would highlight my face. So like tiny amounts, like so. The rest is going between my palms where I don't really need it. Tapping it in just to get it going, and then just moving it in to the skin. And then what's left on my fingers can start to go into that T-zone. And then you'll find your makeup will probably sit better if you don't have too much product on the face. It will last longer. Obviously, you know your skin best, and also depending on what foundation I was going to put on after this would depend on whether I needed a little bit more. If I was going to use like a full coverage matte long wear foundation, I would probably go in with a little bit more of this. If I was going to wear a skin tint, I might even go in with a bit less, because every product that you put after the product before can affect that said product. I really hope that when I speak, it's understood and it's not making things more complicated, because that's what I'm really trying to do, is just break down and help you all understand what happens when different textures mix with different textures and how to layer things well. This, I wouldn't wait before putting on complexion. I'm ready to go. I'm primed to perfection, and I didn't use primer because skincare is primer. And also this is primer. Thanks for watching. Pop any questions below.